Hello and welcome to this lesson about using the GCF to factor a sum or difference. The learning target for this video is to write a sum or a difference as a product of the GCF and then another sum or difference. Now before we even move on to the next slide here, let's just talk about what, yes, sum and difference are. When we're talking about sum and difference, we're talking about an addition problem or a subtraction problem. And so what we're going to do is we're going to combine our knowledge of the GCF to rewrite maybe like a sum of larger numbers into a sum of smaller numbers, or a difference of larger numbers into a difference of smaller numbers. And right now, this might not seem like that applicable, but as you get to more advanced math, this skill is huge. And so that's why we're starting to go over it right now. And so let's talk about sort of the directions and the process. So the direction component, there's several ways this could be phrased. So simply, the shortest way would just be factor. And when you're factoring, you're taking the GCF out of a couple of terms. Now, at this level, we'll be a little more specific, and we might say something like uh, factor the sum or difference. Difference. There we go. Okay. And then finally, another way we might be a little more specific about this is write as a product of the GCF and sum or difference. So something else there. Now, when I say product, we got to keep in mind that that word product here, that means multiplication. And you'll see what that looks like. And that's getting us to the next thing, which is the process. So the process is to one, so let's go process here. One, identify the GCF. Two, follow this pattern. So the way factoring works is that we're going to take the GCF, whatever that is, we're going to write it right there, and then we're going to times it by some factors that are either added together or subtracted together. And so let's look at some examples, and you'll see what it is we're actually doing here. So for my first example, let's say we're going to keep the numbers real simple, 6 plus 14. The first thing we want to do is find the GCF of 6 and 14. And the GCF of 6 and 14, it's just 2. So what I'm going to do, following that pattern of this, I'm going to put my GCF here, and then I'm going to have some other factors, the remaining factors there. So my GCF is 2. What's remaining when I divide 6 by 2 is 3. I'll use a plus sign here. And then 14 divided by 2 is 7. And so that's how you do this. You're factoring out the GCF. You're dividing it out. And that's another way you can think of factoring, is dividing. Now, another example with slightly bigger numbers. Let's say we have 20 plus 35. Well, go off to the side, determine what the GCF is. For 20 and 35, the GCF is equal to 5. And then, again, follow this sort of structure, this pattern that we have. We'll have 5 plus 4 plus 7. And this is it. I mean, like, this is actually the answer. That's all you need to do. Because again, we're setting stuff up for later in more advanced math classes. In a more advanced math class, you might, or you won't be able to combine this 4 and 7 here. But you maybe want to be able to extract it out. All right, and then final example, let's say we have 88 minus 48. And so again, we want to write this as a set of smaller numbers. Now this one we have a difference, so our GCF is equal to 8. And when I take out the 8, I'll be left with 11 minus 6. And that's all we are doing here. So good luck with your homework or practice, and let me know if you have any questions.